I'm so convinced that they're going to be the deciding factor in this. That it's like
I am.
I know, and that's what I've been thinking too. And they seem so convinced that it's going to be the other way. So I'm just like, are you voting to keep Arlie?
No, I'm not voting to keep Arlie. I'm voting to keep Adele.
Okay.
Like why?
And
okay.
I do believe you when you say that. It's just they tripped me the fuck out.
I know.
And after our conversation earlier today, like right before all of this, you made me feel very comfortable with the fact that you do want it to be us 3 in the final. Like 4. You made that very clear, and it made me very happy.
That is a question to me, though. Are you guys going to keep John over me?
We'd be stupid.
Because of like the conversation we had. Yeah. And I know.
See, and I keep saying it, and then it keeps on being turned around on me, so I don't want to like.
Yeah.
Don't cry, babe.
Baby, I'm sorry. Here.
Neda. I've never seen you cry before. It's so weird.
I know,
stupid.
I know. I just keep, I don't know, fuck's sake. Like, I just don't know what the proper thing to say is anymore because it just gets twisted and turned around. So I don't know. Because I know he's like my best friend in this game, but I know I'm not going to win against him. And then I say that and I become this horrible person for saying that.
No, you don't. Who calls you a horrible person for saying that?
Who do you think?
Jesus Christ. Listen. Don't worry about it.
Just gonna get my pajamas and get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, no worries.
No worries, though. Do you know if it's dark out?
It is, yeah. Apparently. Sweating all day. Listen, who cares what she says? Okay? She has different values than everybody in here. She's very emotional, and this whole Rose, my best friend, she's the best thing that's ever walked, blah, blah, blah. Let her think you're a horrible person. Fuck it. This is a game. You're here to play a game.
I know, and then I feel like forced to them to have to be like, no, of course I would take John to final 2, and then they're like, well, we've heard that you wouldn't, so I'm just like, fuck, I don't know what the fucking proper thing to say is anymore. I'm not stupid, like, I can't go to final 2 with him.
Yeah.
Like, I would
You
love
could
to
if
go
you only want the 20,000.
Like, I would love to go to the end of this, like, as far as I possibly could until, you know, but I don't know, like, it's just fucking hard. Like, what the fuck is the proper thing to say in this game without it getting you shit?
I know. It's crazy, actually.
I don't know, you guys both already noticed, and I've said it over and over again, that I'm not, like, gonna make this stupid decision that's gonna end up losing me the game.
Mm-hmm.
But then I'm a horrible person, so.
No, you're not.
You're
I
not
don't
a
think you
horrible
are.
person at all.
I don't think John will think you are either, if that's what you're worried about.
Well, what's on your guys' minds?
I just want Thursday to be here. Rose convinced that she saw us say things we never said.
What else did she say? Are we supposed to? It just doesn't make sense to me. Why would we be saying this stuff with those guys standing right there?
Well, then she's like, the part that freaks me out the most is how
I think
scared we were. And I was like,
Yeah.
we said things about Arlie and
And
Andrew
Andrew.
and stuff like that. And, like, I realized that it was nothing big and people have already heard it. But hearing it again in front of, like, chefs while we're sitting there, like, could hurt people in this house. And we didn't want it to escalate. And she's like, well, blah, 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 blah. Fuck, whatever. Like, think what you want to think, but I am not worried about it because I didn't say fucking shit, and neither did Neda.
Yeah.
So, like, I obviously, like, can't convince you. You think you read what you think you read.
Yeah.
But, like, obviously, I know that you know the truth if you can really read lips, and I shouldn't be that worried.
I don't doubt that that's what she thinks she read, because she read, like, the backstabbing, she read, like, we're pissed off or something, but I don't think it was what she thinks it was about.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Like she filled in blanks herself.
Yeah.
Kind of.
And I agree with that.
Because I do think that's what she read, and that's what she, like, kind of put together herself, but I don't think, it just doesn't make any sense to me when, before we were in here, we're like, hey, they're obviously going to be watching downstairs, so, like,
Yeah.
watch what you say. Like, and with those two guys standing there. Backstabbing, clearly they're talking about Arlie or talking about them being, like, really evil geniuses in the game. Like,
Yeah.
oh, God. Can't even remember, what did we say after the 2 vetoes? We were talking about, can't believe how 2 vetoes were used this week. Do you remember?
Yeah, we were surprised that 2 vetoes were used this week, and that if Arlie ends up staying, he's a fucking genius, especially
would
after
be-
he backstabbed his own alliance.
Is that when I said pissed? Because
Yeah,
that's probably
you'd be
when they were like,
pissed.
yeah.
And I was like, yeah, me too.
Is that when I was going, I would be pissed? Is that one of the things?
I actually can't remember that part.
Yeah.
And apparently, they, Big Brother, only showed us talking about people in alliances, like Arlie and stuff like that, and then after we stopped talking about it, they cut us off. That's
Or
what
were we on the whole time?
that's what Rochelle said.
You were on for a nice bit. You were the whole appetizer part you were on. Then you were on when they gave you
They
the
cut
main
it off
course.
and on?
It was on the whole time, but
Yeah.
they would cut to like the food.
Yeah.
And then we watched you eat the food. We watched you the actual food plate
Yeah.
instead of your faces. And that's why I was yelling at you.
We were wondering why you guys were screaming
Yeah.
upstairs. Like,
I was like, eat it! Fucking put it in your mouth, Neda! I was so upset. You had this really big, juicy piece. I was like, oh my God.
I was
and
so
you put it in like
full,
5 pieces. I
though.
know. I saw you like grab your...
Please come to the diary room.
I saw like her grab her stomach and like be like, oh. From her body language, I could tell she was fucking full of shit. I'm actually so sick of all this game talk. I've never talked games so much in my life in one day.
My mind is fucked.
I don't want to do it anymore.
All I wanted to do today was just enjoy my nice dinner and then see everyone after and have some tea and go to bed. And now all of a sudden I apparently said all these things and Neda said all these things and fuck it, like I just... Arlie's getting to them and he knows he's doing a good job.
I think so too. I can trust the 2 of them, right? Even though we were all gonna fucking originally
Neda and
backdoor
John?
me. Yeah.
Yes, of course you can.
But like the whole backdoor thing is hard to get over.
Yeah, but it
Even though you
wasn't...
changed your mind.
It
but
wasn't
still.
originally our decision.
And whose decision was it?
Arlie's.
All his decision?
I was like...
He threw me under the bus and
I
then...
was like, somebody brought up that you were talking to the gremlins, and I was like, yeah, like she's in there talking to them right now in the bedroom. And then Arlie's like, well, what do we think about actually backdooring this week instead of taking out one of the gremlins? And I was just quiet, obviously, because I was like thinking in my head, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
And then everyone started a group discussion, and then at the end of it, honestly, at the end of it, Neda and I were sitting there like, we don't really like this idea, but like let's agree to it for now and see if we can find something else. But we sat there and we were like, we'd rather not, but we can't go against our alliance. And then afterwards we're like, you know what, how about we do this instead?
Well, yeah, you are the alliance. You can't go. Like, Arlie isn't the alliance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, no. No, because you're not just saying that because he's the one that we have to send home.
No, I'm saying it because he sees you as a huge threat, and he sees Rochelle as a threat, even though he says that he doesn't. Like, he sat with me out on the hammock and was like, Heather, who do you trust more, Allison or Adele? And I was like, I trust Allison and Adele. Why? And he's like, well, because I'm trying to think of final threes right now. And I'm thinking that it would be best to take you with me to final two, but we need a final three. And I was like, okay.
So at that point, he was changing the fact that we were going to work together. Yes?
What do you mean?
Well, me, you, and him, like from the beginning, that was what was pitched to me from you guys.
Yeah.
So.
So he was like, so what do you think about you, me, and Adele? Like, do you think you could beat Allison in the end? Is she someone you'd want to take? And I was like, it's not a fact of beating Allison in the end. It's a fact of, I think that we have a good fighting chance against each other in the end. And I feel like we'd both want to take each other. And he's like, okay. And I was like, that's what I think about it. And he's like, all right. And then we kind of left it there. He's like, either way, I want it to be us final two because there's more people that I still have to, like, obviously think about. We need to get farther in the game first. Yeah. It's like, okay, sounds good. And then I heard about him and John and Adele, and then I heard about him and you, and then I heard about him and Adele, and then I heard about him and John, and then I heard about him and Neda, and I was like, what the fuck, this guy's going against all of us. Mm-hmm. So I was like, this is the stupidest idea ever. Allison's on our side. Why are we taking out somebody who we can put our trust in and work with this whole entire game when we can't trust Arlie? And all of a sudden, all of us were like, "This, yeah, let's take out Arlie." Like, it wasn't even like a question. It was like, why on earth would we ever think about taking out Allison over Arlie? Mm-hmm. Stupid. And I've been wanting to work with you the whole time. Mm-hmm. So why would I want that? Like, it doesn't make sense. And Neda's a smart player. She doesn't want to take a really strong person to the end. Like, we do think you're strong, yes, but we definitely see bigger threats. Like, I don't want to take Sabrina. I don't want to take Rochelle. I don't want to take John. Like, there's not very many people left in this house. Like, you know? So it aggravates me because I've been fighting for you for the last few weeks because I want to work with you. Yeah. I wouldn't have fought for you if I didn't want to. Mm-hmm. So it's pissing me off. And it's pissing me off even more that now everyone's like, oh, you and Neda have a final two together. And I'm like, ugh. You and Rochelle are best friends. Do I really think you're going to take Rochelle to final two? No. I don't.
You don't think Sabrina would?
Nope.
I do.
Do you? Well, she might win against her. But Rochelle would be stupid to take Sabrina to final two because Sabrina will win. Well, against all of us, probably not, but I don't know. I don't even care anymore. I just want Thursday to come and have a new HOH and let this week go the way it's supposed to go. Because Sabrina and Rochelle already told me that they want John, then me. Because they want to break up John and Neda,
downstairs.
And they want to take out me. And they said that Arlie would do the exact same thing because they're bigger players and they think that you're on their side.
Holy Christ.
So, like, that just proves that I trust you more than I trust No. Just upsets me.
So I gave myself power, but I don't want it anymore.
You're so funny.
I don't want it anymore.
I just think that it's so stupid if Arlie stays in this house. Like, if Arlie stays, he's gonna win. Mm-hmm. And he has no intention of taking you to final two or final three. Mm-hmm. And he has no intention of taking us, any of us.
Take the gremlins. Is that what you're saying?
I think that he would take one of the gremlins. And I think he'd probably pair up with one of the guys after everything is said and done if he stays. And then try to backdoor everyone. They wouldn't do
that, though, would they?
I don't think so.
I don't even know why we're talking about it. But
I don't know either. Like with the weakest person. That's what he literally said to the whole entire group. I have no doubt in my mind that that's still not his plan. He's flipped all over this house. Like, come on, he had final twos and threes with everyone. He backstabbed his first alliance. He backstabbed his second alliance. He's obviously not going to stay with anybody in this house. He's going to do whatever it takes for him to win, and I know he will do it if he succeeds. Mm-hmm. So we might as well just give him the $100,000 and one of the fucking gremlins or Neda and let him win. Because he's not taking you and he's not taking me.
I'm more concerned about the girls' minds. What the fuck are they doing? Whatever.
They told me not to say anything.
That's fine. It won't leave my lips.
I'm just so pissed. Like, what are they thinking?
You must think, well, it's probably because I used to veto, right?
Oh, yeah, for
They
sure.
think that I'm with them because of that.
Yeah, and because you're their friend.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if you do win and put them up, it's going to be a huge shock to them.
Mm-hmm. I'm the devil all over again. Yay.
Yeah, but you're our savior if you do it.
Oh.
And you're going to stay way longer than they will. Think about it. Both of the gremlins go home. Then Adele. Or Final Four. If Arlie stays, Adele goes home. Then everyone's fighting for their own life all over again. Because neither alliance are going to be able to keep up because there's going to be equal sides on both.
Mm-hmm.
And then everything rests as it rests. Nobody feels safe. Nobody feels like in an alliance because it's every man for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And no one's really going to get very far. I just want Arlie to go home, and I want him to go home now. I don't want to wait 2 more days for him to try to convince the whole house. I can't even believe he tried with me and Neda already.
Did he try after? Because he said he wasn't even going to bother.
No, he tried.
What'd
He
he
tried
say?
playing the sympathy card.
Oh.
And then he tried
Oh, today, like
Yeah.
him being down or whatever.
Yeah. And then he tried the sympathy card on the gremlin. The gremlins actually fucking think that he's upset and down right now. Legitimately think that. And it's like, he's not upset or down at all. You know this. It's a fucking master plan. Arlie's not an idiot. He had a plan if this happened.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, did he tell you that? You'd have to be an idiot not to know that. And they're like, yeah, well, I guess that makes sense. Well, what do you think about him? And I told them exactly what I think. And I don't give a shit if it gets back to Arlie or not. It's just, Arlie's going home.
Mm-hmm.
You, me, Neda are going to send his ass home.
Mm-hmm.
I trust you.
And I've got your back. So don't worry.
Heather, please come to the diary room.
Sorry, babe.